Well, howdy, Fort Bend. William Ferguson here from the beautiful Seth in Sugarland, Texas. I'm so glad you're joining us today because I have a very special guest for you. I have someone that has been working really, really hard for you. And you know what? I'm just going to let the cat out of the bag and I'm going to show you who I have. I have Dr. Lalani. Not only is he a local gentleman in our community, he's also representing us in Austin. So we have the best of the best today. And Dr. Lalani, thank you for coming today.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and hello to all your viewers and listeners.
Well,
Should I say howdy, Texas?
howdy, Texas. There you go. All right. Dr. Lalani's in the spirit. All right. So this is perfect. So, Dr. Lalani, the reason I invited you, and I've invited several others, is I want everyone in our community to have an opportunity to kind of go a little deeper with you. They probably see your picture all over social media. They certainly see all your fun stuff you do with your wife and everything. And by the way, I saw your Happy Valentine's yesterday. So all of this, and I know with your family, this is also important, but a lot of people don't get a chance to meet you or really hear you. So here's what I want to do. I want to start with this sort of emotional push. Why do you do it? Like at the core of who you are, why did you want to be a rep? Why are you a rep to the state? Why do you do it?
Well, one of our sayings growing old was in the family was, if you have the ability, then it is your responsibility. And with that mindset that we grew up, and then when God has blessed you with things, it's time to give back, because you will grow further. By giving is where God only blesses those where blessing can pass through.
Wow.
So by giving to others, you actually receive. And when I was seeing things happening in healthcare, being in practice for 20 years, I've seen my patients suffering. I've seen other people suffering.
Wow.
And it occurred to me that as a physician, I'm not only responsible for taking care of ailing patients, I need to be responsible for ailing policies.
Wow.
And that's where we pivoted. And I talked to my wife, and she is with me from the day one. And this is what we are making change.
Well, I'm sure you talked to your wife, because I know your wife well enough to know that if I were making a decision, I certainly would talk to your wife first. She's an amazing lady. And so your experience so far in the house, have you enjoyed it? Has it been something gratifying to you? Or is it?
It is actually, there are times of frustration,
Sure.
times where you want to hit your head on the wall, a lot of stress. But then there are moments of sanity, and there are moments of blessings that happens, and you say, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Like when people elect you, they don't give you the power, neither the authority. You know it very well, being
That is
elected
true.
yourself,
Yes,
right?
sir.
But what they give you is their trust, and they have faith in you.
Isn't that true?
And so with that clear mind and servant heart, I took oath on January 10th, and I've been running since then. I made some promises, and I'm very blessed to say I delivered.
Sure.
I worked on 155 pieces of legislation.
Wow.
155. 36 of them is passed into law. Passed in my first session.
That's amazing.
And, I made sure that I give voice to the people who are otherwise weak.
Wow.
I made sure that I give platform to the nonprofits and organizations so they can talk about the good work and raise awareness. I also made sure by design engaging the communities that they were otherwise unengaged.
Wow.
But when it came to pass legislation, I was very cognizant that we are working for all Texans. So I have legislation in healthcare, mental health,
Sure.
education, technology, local bills. And I am on that, and I would ask everybody that it's time for re-election. So please support us,
Yeah, keep
so we
backing.
can continue build upon the good work that we started.
Wow. You know what? You're ruining my questions because you've kind of already answered everything. But I'm going to take them in a little different direction, because the more you talk, the more I understand why you. I mean, it really makes sense. Your humility, your servant heart. So why you doesn't even sound like a good question anymore. And then I'm thinking, why now? Well, you've got all this work started, so I'm kind of answering my own question. Why now? It's because he started everything. He probably wants to finish it. So I'm gonna just jump over to my third question, if I may. And my question is simply this: there's probably 1,000 things you've identified that you're working on that maybe is a concern we're not even aware of. Maybe something you see in the future, maybe we should be aware of. and you may have a solution already in the work. So is there anything you could share with us that maybe you see, whether it's about taxation or liberties or whatever it may be? I don't want to put words in your mouth, that you could share with us looking forward as a solution you're working on.
Actually, there are a lot of things that are important, but I see there are few which are urgent, and we would look into. Like, for example, from the state perspective, healthcare,
Sure.
public education,
Sure.
electric grid, water, flooding, infrastructure, all of that comes, right?
Yes.
So I think we need to stay focused on things and find solutions rather than making noises and getting attraction and not doing anything.
Absolutely.
The thing that comes to me, like, for example, healthcare.
Yes.
We are very much reactive in healthcare rather than proactive.
Always.
We are penny wise and pound foolish. I try to educate to our colleagues when they say, I said, we need to improve the access to care
Yes.
and affordability. Look, this is not the third world country. This is not, we claim ourselves to be the leaders of the world. We need to behave like one.
Right.
And how do we do that? You are not giving access to care. And, it's a true story. That $200 somebody would not get it to get access to care. Some of them will end up in the emergency room, in the hospital, in ICU, and we'll spend $200,000 on them.
Every bit.
Unfortunately, some of them will become dependent, go to a nursing home.
Sure.
You know who's paying for it? The state is paying for it.
That's right.
So I tell my colleagues, like, let's not argue. I'm not asking you for more money. Let's become more proactive, more preventive care, more access to care that we do.
Right.
And how many times we see patient. I have my own patient, and I will tell you, Ms. Jones, I see her, I say, Ms. Jones, you're not taking your medication. No, doctor, I'm taking my medications. I'm doing it. Next time I see her, Ms. Jones, I know you're not taking it. She looks into me and says, yes, doc, you're right, but you know what? That medicine is not covered by my insurance.
Wow.
I said, okay, ma'am, no worries. You know what? Let's try to change it. Wow. And you have heard about those $4 pharmacies? Yes. Okay, I'm going to write you this. You can get it done.
Wow.
All right, I see her after 2 months. Ma'am, I see your numbers. You're not taking your medications. Yes, no, doc, I'm taking. No, ma'am, you're not taking. She puts her arm around me and says, doc, I am on 8 medicines. My husband is another 8. 4 times 16 is a number I can't afford on my Social Security check.
Wow.
Now, I can bet you, all your viewers and listeners, you know Ms. Jones in your life. Yeah. There are people
lives on our street
who are rationing their medications.
Absolutely.
There are people who are doing 2 jobs, but they don't have affordable insurance.
Wow.
Texas is leading in so many ways that we are proud of, but some of the things we are ashamed of.
Yes.
We are the 8th largest economy in the world.
Yes, sir.
8th largest.
Yes.
Right? Our economy is bigger than Australia, Canada,
true.
To give you some perspective. But we have almost 20% of our people uninsured.
Unbelievable.
And there's another part which is we call underinsured. So we need to make sure that we improve our healthcare access to it. We have the world's largest medical center here.
Yes.
We have the cutting edge knowledge, technology, research. What we lack is access to care. We know that who's who would fly into Houston to get their care.
Sure.
But our own people cannot cross the street to get it.
Wow.
So we need to work on the access, and that's what I'm working with our colleagues. I have filed bills in healthcare access. There's some. It's a process. It takes time.
Sure.
But I think we have initiated the process, and they are listening to me.
You are making this way too easy on me.
They're listening, yes.
Yeah, you are making this way too easy on me. Wow, what an answer. So that makes perfect sense to me why you need to be here, okay? And so what I want to transition into now is I'm going to flip this camera, and in a moment I want you to look at your, not just the people that have already supported you, the voters that are already in your corner. I want you to look at everybody and just tell them how they can help you moving forward, whether it's prayer, donations, volunteering, whatever it is, tell them, because maybe that'll motivate more of them to get involved and allow you to continue your work. So I'm going to flip that right now. And as you can tell, the camera is all yours, Doctor.
Hello, folks. The first and only thing that you can do is stay engaged, because you can only have leaders who you will elect. So I would say stay engaged, read on the candidates so you can vote your voice. We started this session with $34 billion in surplus. We all were excited, elated that $34 billion. with B, not M. $34 billion. We could have done remarkable work with our healthcare, with our public education. You know, we are living in blessed Fort Bend, but I've visited some of the Fort Bend schools and the challenges that we see. Everyone who has kids in the school, how often you get, let's do a bake sale, we'll do this donation sale, we'll do this. How many teachers we come across and say, I'm raising fund for my school supplies? This is state's job to do that. We need to provide an A-class facility. That's our leaders of tomorrow. We are creating paper degrees, but not the leaders of tomorrow with critical thinking. So for your access to care, improved health care, for your public education, for our diversity that we live in, the democracy that we have, the fair representation, the businesses that we have, the economic growth that we are doing in the Fort Bend. You need to re-elect Dr. Suleiman Lalani. I'm on the Democratic ballot, so ask for Democratic ballot. Dr. Suleiman Lalani for House District 76, and let's celebrate.
Wow, I love it. Now, do you have a website or anything that they can go and visit to learn more about you?
Yes, they can go to our website is drlalanifortexas.com, and we have our newsletters that comes in every week. We talked about the different bills. We do a lot of education things that we're doing. We have events. You can participate, volunteer, donate. But most importantly, I will say is come out to vote. If you are not in my district, which is part of Sugar Land, Richmond, Meadows, and Stafford, you can adopt me. Okay, and please let other family and friends come out and vote, and let's do this, and let's elect the right people.
I love that. What a great response. So in summary, I don't know if I've ever told you, but my wife is a school teacher. So 24 years, this is her last year. And I know year after year after year, we are always looking for a way to afford Kleenexes and everything else for the classroom. And I have never in my life understood why those necessities were not already provided in the school. Never made sense to me. And I'm so glad you're addressing that. So bless you. Thank you so much for coming in. I think there's a lot of people that are going to be blessed by hearing you. And I feel like you were pretty concise. That was pretty helpful. And so other than
there's
that,
no script. Whatever came in
no
the heart.
script needed. It's
Whatever came in the heart.
I love that. So here, folks, howdy Fort Bend, and we will see you soon. Bye, y'all. Stop. Oh, stop.